Breakfast with Yuan Shao, a Three Kingdoms fan fiction by James Pierce. Yuan Shao yawned, raising his hand over his head in a stretch as he made his way through the halls of the capital city of his vast northern empire. Morning had come, and as every morning before, he got up with the sun, his single interest from the time being the enjoyment of a fine breakfast cereal. He entered the grand breakfast dining hall, a large room built around a single fine table in the middle. The table complemented by a single fine chair, a cereal bowl, spoon, napkin, and two separate boxes of cereal. Paying no attention to the advisers who had arrived to meet him this morning, he sat down. His attention passed between the corn pops to his left, then over to the frosted flakes on the right, a deeply troubled expression passing over his face as he looked to the center, only to find that his selection for the day, Cocoa Puffs, could not be enjoyed, for the Cocoa Puffs were absent. "Where are my Cocoa Puffs?" raged Yuan Shao. "Lord Wan Shang ate the Cocoa Puffs this morning," was Tian Feng's response. "What?" cried Yuan Shao, obviously angry about this most unexpected turn of events. "If Wan Shang has eaten my Cocoa Puffs, what am I to do for breakfast? I had my heart set on Cocoa Puffs, but now I must choose between Frosted Flakes and Corn Pops." "It is my humble opinion," replied Tian Feng, "that my lord should eat Corn Pops." Before Yuan Shao could respond, Shen Pei stepped forward and shook his head. "Corn Pops, my lord, cannot compare to the fine taste of Frosted Flakes. My lord must choose them over Corn Pops, which can never compare to the sugary delight provided by the clearly superior selection." Yuan Shao looked between the cereals and reached for the cornflakes. "Very well, today I shall enjoy," he began to say, but stopped, turning to his side in surprise as Zhu Shao stepped forward. "It is not sugary delight that defines the value of cereal, my lord," interjected Zhu Shao. "One must consider the Frosted Flakes, while sugary delights get soggy much quicker in milk. If my lord were to select them this morning, he would have only a short period of time in which to eat them. Certainly the best option is Corn Pops." "No," wailed Gao Tu. "You must not eat Corn Pops. Frosted Flakes are superior in every way. They are trying to deceive you. My lord is equal to the task of eating Frosted Flakes before they become soggy with milk. You must not pass up this chance." "Do you remember," replied Ding Feng, "when you last ate cornflakes, sire? Hardly a few minutes had passed before you found yourself eating soggy breakfast. Frosted Flakes are nothing more than cornflakes with sugar on them. No good can come from risking this endeavor." Outraged with the memory of cornflakes, Yuan Shao turned to Gao Tai in anger. "It is you who is trying to deceive me. I have not forgotten the terrible experience I suffered through when I ate the cornflakes." He turned to his guards, his face red with anger. "Take him away! Execute him!" The guards stepped forward, but at the request of Zhou Yu and Zhou Zhen, Yuan Shao held off Gao Tu's removal and execution. Yuan Shao considered to himself, "Here are two men of wide experience in the art of selecting fine breakfast meal. Let me hear the flavors of their choice." He turned to them and spoke. "Tian Feng and Zhu Shou have advised me to eat Corn Pops, but Shen Pei and Gao Tu oppose it, suggesting I eat Frosted Flakes instead. I, however, remember sadly the time at which I ate cornflakes, the meal becoming soggy and despicable within minutes. For the deception, I order Gao Tu's exception." "My lord," interjected Zhou Yu, "truly nothing can compare to the frosted delight of frost flakes." And indeed, though cornflakes may grow soggy quickly, frosted coating of frosted flakes keep them crisp much longer in milk. Xiao Shen nodded in disapproval. And my lord should also remember that once finished, the milk will be flavored in the same sugary taste enjoyed earlier when eating the flakes themselves. So you can even continue to enjoy the meal once you have finished eating it. What? Demanded Yuan Shao, turning to Tang Feng in anger. Because of you, I nearly ate bad cereal. Gods, take him away from my sight and imprison him at once. I will not tolerate such misinformation in regard to a fine breakfast meal. Tang Feng hung his head in sadness, despairing over his lord's selection. After Tang Feng was removed, Zhao Shao excused himself, and not long later the other advisers departed as well. Yuan Shao poured his bowl of cereal, intending to enjoy his frosted flakes, then filled the bowl with milk. He slowly savored his fine meal, but much to his dismay, half of the way through the cereal had become soggy. His breakfast ruined, and out of milk from his son's breakfast earlier in the morning, he was left only with half the enjoyment he had hoped to receive. He despaired, and word of his sad event passed through the territory. The jailer said to Tan Feng, Lord Yuan Shao has eaten frosted flakes, but as you predicted, they turned soggy. I'm certain he will have you pardoned, even if he does not reward you for good advice. Tan Feng sighed and shook his head. No, I will be executed. Later, while Yuan Shao was lost in regret, Pang Ji came to see him. Yuan Shao turned to him. Tan Feng advised me to eat corn pops, saying the frosted flakes would become soggy, but I refused his advice, and look what became of me. How can I ever face him again? Peng Ji shook his head. When Tang Feng heard the fact that your cereal grew soggy, he jumped up and clapped his hands, saying, I was right, Yuan Shao's cereal has gone bad, and it all's because his neglect of my advice. Yuan Shao, infuriated by this report, immediately sent out for guards to execute Tang Feng. The next morning, Tang Feng was executed, Yuan Shao's decision having given truth to the predictions of his own death. Copyright 2003, James Pierce.